Donald Trump is panicking as he has made yet another fatal error in the war against Iran, his catastrophic and unlawful war against Iran. He once again blinked and unilaterally extended the ceasefire deadline without Iran even agreeing to it. Iran said it would not participate in any negotiations with Donald Trump in Pakistan so long as Donald Trump maintained a naval blockade and continued to threaten Iran as the ceasefire deadline was about to expire, after Donald Trump was saying all day when he called in to CNBC and other stenographer media entities, Trump was saying, I don't want the ceasefire anymore. I'm ready to bomb. I'm going to show how tough I am. We're going to obliterate them. And then Donald Trump said, I'm actually going to extend unilaterally the deadline of the ceasefire indefinitely. And so I guess we'll just figure it out. Now, the Wall Street Journal, a Murdoch paper, had the following headline in its opinion section: The Iranians take Trump for a sucker. How many times do they expect him to play this game before they reopen the Strait of Hormuz, that they view Donald Trump as a sucker? And now, remember when Donald Trump would post things like this back in 2013? This is a real post from Donald Trump, November 25th, 2013. The worst thing you can possibly do in a deal is seem desperate to make it. Well, Donald, you reek of desperation. You reek of weakness, and the Iranians see how weak you are. Donald Trump posted this message as he was ranting and raving like a lunatic after making another fatal error of unilaterally extending the ceasefire after threatening that he would rain down hell if Iran didn't negotiate. Iran's like, yeah, we're not negotiating with you. And Iran just essentially ignored him. Here's what Trump writes. The Wall Street Journal has lost its way. An idiot on the Wall Street Journal's editorial board named Elliot Kaufman wrote an op-ed entitled The Iranians Take Trump for a Sucker. Really? For 47 years, they've killed our people and many others. Then Donald Trump's like, I obliterated them. They're losing $500 million a day. And you think that I'm a sucker? You're writing about me being taken for a sucker? Iran certainly doesn't think so. Neither does anyone else. I guess Rupert Murdoch told him to write it that way because the Wall Street Journal has lost its way. They're literally making AI videos of you running around with chickens in Iran right now. That's what they're doing right now. They're doing chicken videos of you. You want to see what Tehran Square looks like? You want to see if they think you're a sucker? In Tehran Square last night, they had the people gathered there showing off their ballistic missiles, mocking you. This was Tehran Square last night. Play this clip. And here's what the Iranian media companies are saying publicly. Here's Iran's official Islamic Republic of Iran broadcast network. Iran rejected the U.S. conditions for negotiations. Trump unilaterally extended the ceasefire. Trump said that at the request of Pakistan's army chief, the ceasefire would remain in place until Iran presents a new proposal. Iran's message is clear and explicit. Never negotiate under the shadow of threats. And then Iran social media reposted this. You can't demand negotiations while holding a gun to the table. That's not diplomacy, it's coercion. Trump's trying to avoid a war without looking like he avoided one. Here's what Donald Trump leaked to state regime media with Sean Hannity. Play this clip.
And welcome to Hannity. Tonight we start with this Fox News alert. Now, new reporting tonight. Sources telling me that the ceasefire extension in Iran announced by the president, that will be short-lived unless a deal is reached quickly. Now, earlier today, the president announced that American strikes will not yet resume, and he will allow peace negotiations to continue. According to my sources, mostly this was out of respect for the Pakistani mediators and as a final push for peace for the war-torn Iranian people.
But here's how CNN discussed what went down as basically Iran ghosted J.D. Vance and Donald Trump and Vance and Hegseth and Witkoff and Kushner were so thirsty to try to get Iran to like make a deal after threatening Iran. Iran's just like, we are ignoring you. We're not responding. Iran's not even responding. That, just think about that. That's how pathetic Iran views Trump. And they're like, why would we respond to you? If we respond to you, you're just going to misrepresent what we say. Here's how CNN reported what went down from their sources. Play this clip.
Air Force Two was sitting on the tarmac at Joint Base Andrews, and the administration was deciding, should the Vice President, J.D. Vance, board his plane and head to Pakistan for the next round of negotiations with the Iranians, as was he when he was there just a few weeks ago, as you can see here. But today the administration was dealing with an issue, virtual silence that they were getting from the Iranians. Now, I've learned that in recent days, the United States had sent Iran a list of broad points that they wanted them to agree to in advance of the next round of talks, of J.D. Vance getting on Air Force Two and going back to Islamabad. But days went by without the United States getting a response, raising questions and suspicions about whether or not much could be achieved in person. Officials had urged the top mediator from Pakistan to get at least some kind of response from Iran before the vice president boarded his flight. But still, hours later, an official tells me there was nothing. That radio silence is a far cry, though, from the confidence that we had heard coming from President Trump just a few days ago on Iran.
This process should go very quickly, and that most of the points are already negotiated and agreed to.
And look, Iran, just listen to what they're saying. If you want to go through a negotiated path, Donald, then you have to negotiate in good faith. If you don't want to negotiate and you want to commit war crimes and you want to sacrifice the lives of tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of American service members, that's a path. It's a path that's a war criminal. You've already committed war crimes, but what do? You think your social media posts are going to like scare them? Like, it isn't. Here's what Iran's ambassador is saying. It's a very basic message. Iran's ambassador to the UN says, Iran is ready to negotiate as soon as the U.S. lifts the naval blockade. We have not initiated military aggression. If they seek a political solution, we are ready. And if they seek war, Iran is prepared for it.
Naval blockade of the United States, it is violation of the ceasefire. And we told them that they should block this blockade. We have received some sign that they are ready to block it. And as soon as they broke this blockade, I think that the next round of the negotiation will take place in Escalation. To them, we have not initiated the military aggression. They initiated the war against us, and we are ready. If they want to sit on table and discuss and find a political solution, they will find us ready. If they want to go to the war, in this case also Iran is ready for that. It was one of the conditions that we put, that the ceasefire should be entire the region, even including the Lebanon also.
They're just saying remove the naval blockade. And you may go, well, we're putting pressure on them with the naval blockade. No, you're not. You're not putting pressure on them. Stop that. They saw that you couldn't accomplish the objectives in war that you threatened. They see you tacoing and you backing down every time a ceasefire deadline's about to hit. You doing the blockade is making things worse. So what does Donald Trump do in response to Iran's ambassador saying, we can negotiate? Can you remove the naval blockade? Trump's post is, Iran doesn't want the Strait of Hormuz closed. They want it open so they can make $500 million a day, which is therefore what they are losing if it's closed. They only say they want it closed because I have it totally blockaded, closed. So they merely want to save face. People approached me for days ago saying, sir, Iran wants to open up the strait immediately. But if we do that, there can never be a deal with Iran unless we blow up the rest of their country, their leaders included. Donald J. Trump, if you want to negotiate with the Iranians, you can threaten to kill the negotiators, and you can keep bragging about the blockade and having them save face. You're the one who needs to save face, okay? You're the one who said you would do regime change, you would obliterate them, the people would greet you as a conquering hero, you and Netanyahu, that's what you said. That's what you said was going to happen. That didn't happen. So you need to save face right now and either make a deal with them, or if you want to go to war, That's an option. You're going to kill lots of soldiers. You're going to create a Great Depression. But if you want to make a freaking decision, you loser, make a decision, you loser. And that's how Iran sees it, that you're a loser. Negotiator, just shut up. Stop with these stupid idiot posts, man. It's ridiculous. Grow up. Grow up, act like a grown-up, man. What are you doing? Then Donald Trump posts, Iran is collapsing financially. They want the Strait of Hormuz. Opus all night he's posting stuff like this. Starving for cash. Losing $500 million a day. Military and police complaining that they're not getting paid. SOS, SOS, This is not what's going to motivate them. I don't know what you think this is. If this is like a Rambo movie or some like C-list movie that you've seen, this is real life, Donald. Okay, this stuff isn't working. You're further entrenching their leadership is what you're doing. They're not going to all of a sudden break, oh, Donald wrote a nasty tweet. Oh my God, please no more nasty tweets. If he keeps doing nasty tweets, he's going to keep extending the ceasefire deadline. You're the one who keeps on extending, not them. They didn't blink for a moment. You keep on blinking. It's so embarrassing right now to be an American under this weak, pathetic regime. Treasury Secretary Besson goes, as Donald Trump has made clear, the United States will continue the blockade of Iranian ports. In a matter of days, Carg Island storage will be full. Okay, you're not going to get a deal with Iran by keeping the blockade. How many times do we need to say this? When you went to war and you invaded them and you did start bombing it, that didn't make them submit. You think the blockade's going to make them go, please, Donald, please? No. At some point, it's going to lead to further escalation. That's all that's going to happen, is that you're going to turn this into a hot war again. And meanwhile, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And remember all yesterday morning, Trump's like, I don't want to extend the ceasefire. Then you extended, he called into CNBC. We don't need to play the video. I'm just going to read what he said. I don't want to extend the ceasefire. Well, I expect there to be bombing if we don't sign a deal today. The question to Donald Trump yesterday, you're saying you need at least the prospect for a signed deal today and tomorrow, or else you will resume bombing Iran? Well, I expect to be bombing. Okay, well, you didn't do that, and it shows how weak you are to them. Then Donald Trump's like, we totally controlled the Strait of Hormuz. I would have won the Vietnam War very quickly. You dodged the draft 5 times. What do you mean you would have stopped the war very quickly? What does that mean? And then MAGA Mike Johnson is doing this? New account drop? MAGA Mike? What time warp are we in right now? By the way, Iran said the following. Trump's ceasefire extension means nothing. The losing side cannot dictate terms. Iran's advisor to MB Ghalibaf, their parliament leader, says continuation of the blockade is no different from bombardment and must be met with a military response. Trump's ceasefire extension is certainly a ploy to buy time for a surprise strike. That's what they're saying. And I can read you more of Donald Trump's posts, ranting and raving like a lunatic. I don't need to. You get the point. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.